Then why is my picture framed? Or why is my video feed like way up in the
Because I'm fixing the other shit right now.
Bob heard John. Oh.
Fair.
Apparently we're good now.
What?
Whoa, is lying.
Yeah, we're good now. I can hear it.
Cliff has those Bethesda bugs
There we
fixes.
go. Yeah. I'll fix them. You just gotta pay me. All right. Hey, happy Tuesday. Hi, everybody. It's Cliff. This is Amethil. D&D. We're doing the damn thing. No issues whatsoever. That was all on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink.
So I do want to say that tonight we have a very special intro to commemorate what happened last week. But before we get into that,
well,
Jake, why don't you want to do recap, Jake?
Yay, Jake.
I can try.
If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm not going to force
I mean,
you.
I'll try. I just kind of tuned out halfway through because of what happened.
Because of the depression.
Yeah, right. So we started off with these fucking asshole angels in our town. They were threatening, or not, like a threat and a warning of like everything that was going on with a jackal. Something, don't remember details. But they ended up flying away and fucking off, and Batsu looks over at Grimble and goes, "Bet you can't hit it from here." And
bring that up. Just
and
let everyone
of
forget
course,
about
Grimble's wasn't gonna say no to that, so he takes the shot and drastically underestimated their power. All of a sudden, he looks up and there's a gigantic fireball flying at his face, followed by another one, and then two more angels showing up and more fireballs. So Grimble's near dead at this point. On the ground, in between Vardrock commanding him to go apologize and getting pushed in and out of this protective circle or sphere bubble thing that Ricard put up. And Grimble finally walks out there, not to be outdone of what little honor he had left. And he's taking a beating from these giant angel fireballs. And very near death, Vardrock looks up at the angels and says, "If he's dead, will you go?" And then proceeds to take a golf swing at Grimble's head. And his thinking, I can only assume, is maybe if we kill him, we'll be able to bring him back, whereas if they kill him, we don't know. So, kills Grimble, and then not to be outdone, the angels are like, "We don't trust you, we're onto you," and then they repeatedly drive their swords into Grimble's body. Leaving him just one fuck of a mess. I can't even imagine. So the angels finally fly away. They're off now, and the group has decided to no longer screw with them after seeing what happened the first time. Vardrock reaches down, and it looks like for a moment he's about to help Grimble out, and then just takes all of his fucking money. And turns around and walks away. Because that's how Vardrock do.
Steps over him. Don't forget that part.
Oh, yeah, steps over him. And then probably one of the worst things that could have ever happened to Grimble then happened. Not the dying part. Getting dragged off by Ricard to his graveyard. So that was highly disturbing. In which he doesn't even have the decency to bury Grimble. No, he just throws him into this tomb and leaves him there. And I think he's still there.
It's the Tomb of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm laying at the bottom of the stairs with all of my shit just thrown on top of it. So
No, he laid you out fancy. He crossed your arms and put typhoon. Like he made sure you looked nice.
that.
Bitch.
First.
Not at first.
At first, he just tossed him in. He was gonna bring him back. It was gonna be funny, but then it turned sad.
So after all of this, Grimble decides that he's fucked up one too many times, and after disappointing Vardrock just so very much, he decided he didn't want to deal with getting yelled at again, so he stayed dead. After that, does somebody else want to pick up from there? Because I don't remember.
Your character at that point.
Anybody else want to wrap this up?
I'll send her Melissa before I jump in.
Go for it.
Have fun.
Let's see here. Shit, what did happen? Vardrock went back in. Vakta followed. Batsu, he noticed an arrow in the doorway to Megami's house and a message that was written in Abyssal, and he doesn't speak Abyssal, so he went looking for someone who could, and his path led him eventually to checking at the mage's school. And he interrupted the head mage's class very rudely. And so the head mage kind of said, "Here, bite into this peppermint patty." And Bot's like, "Cool." And then it's the top of a mountain. And started freezing his dick off. So Vardrock is taking care of some things, and he sees another arrow in Megami's door, and the door is open, and he's like, okay, shit, something's up. Immediately goes trying to find Batsu and can't find him, so he asks Vakta to go down to the hidden sewer area and see if maybe he's down there. She goes down there. His family's all there. He is not. So at that point, the kid, like, basically the guards were told to fan out and look for him. But eventually he shows back up, coming back to the house looking like he was spent a lot of time in the cult for some reason. So they follow and say, okay, what the fuck happened? And he tells them and tells them about the note, and about the fact that there's some devil, and he describes the devil on the card of fate that he drew that he believes is after him. Later that night, let's see here, he goes to sleep and has a dream, but he doesn't know it's a dream because he wakes up to Vardrock holding his hand over his mouth and basically shushing him and telling him that he found where this devil is that's after him, and tells him to follow him. And Batsu's suspicious and is like, where's Vakta and everything? He says, it's best we do this alone. They kick in the door to this little farm or house just outside of the kingdom, and there's someone sitting in a chair. Batsu goes around, sees that it's actually Megami and not a devil. Vardrock's already charging, about to kill her. He tries to intervene, but he's just kind of pushed out of the way by this charging Vardrock, and then he goes to try and stab him, and wakes up to find that he's actually stabbed Megami. He then panics and takes her to the temple. The priest there heal her up. And he tries to explain, and she says it's okay and everything, but he doesn't trust himself now. At the same time, someone comes knocking at the palace door, and Vardrock and Ravage go to answer, and there's a corpse that just kind of falls to the ground with a symbol on the forehead and symbol down the chest. And as Vardrak's tries to like use a spell to recover this body, but it's been long dead. And Ravage points out that Vardrak now has the symbol on his head. And then he tells him that the symbol is now changing, and that's where we end it.
Boom. I was going to have you and Jake roll to see who gets the player point, but I'm just going to give it to Jake because, I killed him. Figure that's fair. So
you asshole, killing
I know,
people.
right? So, housekeeping shits. First and foremost, thank you, Allie and John, for the resubs. If you see the 2 gold bars on every corner, that means that we are 2/5 of the way to a community event. So if we get like 3 more resubs or follows or whatever, big shits happening, then we'll add those onto it, and then you guys will be able to pick what happens next. What's a community event? Glad you asked, Bob. So when the community event goes up, you guys will get to vote on something, and that is what it will be, and that will be the new thing. What I do need, for absolutely no reason in particular, I definitely wouldn't lie about this. I need 2 people to do an exclamation point roll 361. First 2 people to do it is what I'll take. All right, we got 226, and I need 1 more. Uh, 309. Thank you. Definitely has nothing to do with anything, and it's just for my own amusement.
Who did?
That was believable, right? So don't even worry about it. That's just what it is. 207. We're going to use the 207 because...
It's not me.
Because it's not you. Although this really has no bearing on that kind of stuff, but it just seems a little bit more fair. You're already a VIP. So, we'll do that then. And then, finally, we're going to kick off this intro. And this is a very special intro dedicated to Grimble. So I need everybody's attention. I need you to pay attention to this intro.
And a moment of silence.
So we can honor Grimble.
That was amazing.
Fucking music slows down.
Everybody, if you can, raise your glass and a toast to Grimble.
I don't have a drink. Oh, thanks, Bob. Yay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna need you to send me that. Holy fuck. Oh, that was too good. Oh, I might have legitimately almost passed out from laughing so hard there for a second. Like that first exhale was my vision was fuzzy for a second. Oh my god.
Oh. Amazing.
Okay. So with that. So, oh, fuck, that's too funny.
How could you have kept it a secret? Oh god.
It was so hard. Brittany probably seen it 30 times. I'm like, I want to show him, but I can't show him. That needs to be the intro every week. Okay. So, here we are in Dracarius. The body was just delivered. Vardrak, you flip it over. See the weird symbol on the forehead. See there's more symbols on the chest. Pull the shirt back. It looks like a map. And as you tell Ravage to move the body to a different room so you can keep it, he goes to pick it up. It turns to ashes. You feel like a burning on your forehead, and Rakar's like, the symbol's on your forehead, and it's changing.
Ravage.
Or Ravage, yeah, not Rakar. Ravage, the hairy one.
Where's the nearest like pool or water?
You have a fountain in the courtyard.
Okay, he's gonna walk out to the courtyard and check his reflection.
And as you peer into the water, you can see what looks like a burn, almost like a brand on your forehead in a symbol that you would recognize. Give me an Arcana check.
Not so good at those. Let's see.
So you would recognize this arcane symbol is basically saying the number 10.
Okay. And this is in the middle of the night.
No, this is in the morning. This is, you guys woke up to this banging. It's about 5 in the morning.
All right.
Am I in the wrong one? I am. All right, hold up. I can actually do this. So, boop, boop.
So just the number 10 in any particular written language?
It is an arcane rune.
Just an arcane rune. Okay. Him and Ravage are just going to head to the school that's open yet. I don't know what time they open.
It would be. And as you head over there, you would notice that the schooling is already in session. And as you walk in the door, you see Batsu sitting there amongst all the people.
He's gonna do like a double take, like he's about to walk past, like, are you a mage now?
He just looks at you and gives you like he's
Like, as you say that, like, everybody goes quiet and, like, all the heads turn and look at you.
Were they in the middle of like a session?
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on. And he's just gonna take a seat and just wait.
The head mage is like, we're just now getting started. What do we owe this honor of you being here?
He stands back up. He says, just a question. Arcane symbol for 10 appears, and it seems to be a message. Is there anything you can tell me about this?
He, like, walks over to you, and he, like touches it. And he's like, it's freezing cold. Where did this come from?
My best guess is that it is a message sent by the Queen of Durian that we were expecting, but I could be wrong.
He kind of, like, steps back and he ponders for a second. This seems like a rather cryptic way of sending a message. Was there anything else with this message besides the number 10?
He leans in and more quietly says, it came as a walking corpse that turned to ash when we touched it, and it seems to have had a map on its chest before that.
And he just kind of looks bewildered, like puzzled a little bit, and he's like, "Do you recall what the map was?" And as he says this, you feel this surge rush through your brain as you can vividly remember every detail of this map. That basically was showing you an area of woods to the northern part of Amethil, on this side of the I can't remember the name of the damn mountain range now. The divide. The map was pointing you there. And you get the flash of like this cabin or this house in your mind.
Okay, so just the cabin, not the area?
Oh no, everything. Like you know exactly how to get there.
Varjak was like, wait, you give me quill, ink, and parchment.
And he kind of like looks over and he grabs one off of one of the students' desks.
And Varjak's gonna try to make a map of what he sees.
Remembering it and being able to draw it, two different things.
He's gonna try.
Do you have any proficiency with cartography?
You already know that's a no.
Go ahead and just give me a solid 20 roll.
All right. Nailed it.
Did great.
Looks like a child's drawing.
Yeah, he picks it up and he's like,
Varjak's like, no, it's like this.
I think it's a bad idea, but the only option we have, I think, is to follow it. If you want, I can try to figure something out, but I'm not sure why you would have the number 10 on you, nor why it would be in an arcane rune.
He looks over to Ravage and says, do you remember what the symbol looked like before it looked like this? Let's see if he can. Will be insight to try and recall
insight,
that.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's got no modifier for that. Oh no.
He's like, yes.
It looked like that, but not like that.
It looked kind of like what's there now, but there was like an extra line here, and then like over here was a little bit less. It's like, that's not helpful at all.
Like, never mind. Okay. Well, he says, and once again, like in a lower voice, the whole class isn't hearing it. He says, I have the priest looking into anything that they know of about a phylactery for a lich. Anything that you can contribute from the arcane side would help, but we're going to have to be leaving soon.
Well, just let me know what you need, and I'll do everything that I can.
Yeah, any information to prepare us for how to handle it, what to do, what not to do with it, for safekeeping, possible destruction if we need to destroy it in a hurry.
Destroy it.
It may be used as a bit of a bargaining chip, but we'll see when we get there.
If this was my choice and you were asking me what I would do, I would throw it in that pit.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, anything that you can figure out after your class and everything, I've got some things to tend to anyway. We'll be back later before we leave. Is that okay with you?
Of course. I'll as soon as we're done here, I have a few books that I can check out to see if it'll give me any extra info, but really, liches are bad news. And bringing one here seems like a recipe for disaster.
I don't plan on bringing it back here, that's for sure. But thank you. Batsu, you should come with me. And then he starts walking out with Ravage. He doesn't wait for your answer.
The head mage is just looking at you, shaking his head.
I have been trying to get some kind of magic knowledge for so long.
Take that book with you. Study it on your travels. It should help.
Okay. He just takes the book and like pouts and walks away. Never gonna get this fucking feat.
All right, Batsu, I need your skills. I want to be ready for what's coming. So I want to stop by the smith and see if we have what we need to improve my armor. Can you do that?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. And you look tired. Like you got the like bags and stuff. Did you not sleep?
I did, but I was woken up. Hold on. He goes back into the fucking school of magic. And like waves at the fucking head mage.
Like he just started the lesson back up and he's like, yes.
Is there a book I could take with me so I can not be here? Like something just to grasp fucking magic.
He's just looking at you like you're stupid at this point. Like, I just told you to take that book with you.
This is. I thought this was for. Okay. Thank you.
God, Batsu's me.
Batsu, go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
Oh God.
I'm so good at these.
Okay. Okay.
Slowly just backs out of the class.
Literally everyone's looking at you.
Just like a collective, like, oh, come on.
All right, did you get what you need out of there?
Yeah. Let's go.
Broderick's gonna start heading over to the treasury. He says, yeah, so what you were saying, what woke you up?
You fucking dick.
That's a great way to talk to your king.
Like Broderick doesn't even flinch, keeps walking. And says, what are you talking about? Ravage is like staring you down.
It's a fucking bad dream. You woke me up, came in, almost took off Megami's head like you did with Grimble.
So you're mad at me over a dream? You've never
Who
had
are you, Vakta? Wait.
I'm mad at this fucking demon that keeps popping up everywhere, and after talking to you about it the other day in the house, now you're popping up in my fucking head too.
So you have a demon after you too?
Devil.
So A demon, a devil, and me are all after you.
Not the demon, the other two.
So no demon, but apparently I'm trying to kill you.
Just in my dreams.
Why are you dreaming about me?
Why are you showing up in my dreams?
I mean, I like to keep this professional, but whatever. Guess some people can't help it, you know.
Fucking hate Vargok.
You love him.
Me too. Wait.
And Virgil's gonna stop at the treasury to see if they have enough materials, and he's gonna ask if Batsu has what he needs for the job.
So what are you trying to do?
Increase the quality of his armor.
What is your armor at right now? Is it a plus
Nope.
1?
No pluses.
No pluses?
Nope.
Alright. So if you're trying to get it from no pluses to a plus 1, let me see here what the cost of that would be.
350.
350,000.
Nah.
I think that might be close.
I'm like, hell no, I ain't giving you no goddamn 350.
So for that, it would be no, it's not that bad. It would be 3,500 gold worth of rations.
Okay.
Materials or just rations.
Oh, not rations. I'm sorry.
Just taking food. Here's some corn.
I'm gonna do
All
it, but
those
I'm gonna be hungry.
rations. You wanted that to be food armor, right? Like made of rancid meat. Armor on the cob. Zing. No, so obviously not rations. But yeah, 3,500 gold worth of your reagents.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it's gonna be 4,000 reagents.
Deception check.
I mean, that's my best skill. So
Don't worry. It's just what's my
You would have to roll perception, which I don't think that you can even get a +5 in perception, can you?
Try. Do it anyway.
Oh yeah, by all means, try.
I just want to laugh at Vardrak.
not gonna give you guys satisfaction.
No, seriously, try. Because this is gonna go off of the influence chart. So I need to know. With an 18 means that you lost by 7.
Mhm.
So with losing by 7,
Influence. Sure. What are we talking about?
yeah. So with you losing by 7, you just agree. Yeah, it'd be 4,000 gold. That sounds about right to you.
Okay.
If you'd have lost by 10 or more, then you would have probably thought that like that wasn't even enough money that you needed to give him more.
Gotcha. So yeah, he's gonna withdraw it from 4,000 to give it to Batsu. So that covers it.
yeah, that's enough. I need to go and make sure that blacksmith even has enough materials, though.
All right, let's go check.
So while they're off doing that, what are Rakar and Vakta doing?
What time is it?
It is around this time, probably about 7 in the morning.
Sleeping.
Rakar and Vakta are sleeping. Got it. Which is probably true, because I would assume Rakar is probably a night owl.
Mm-hmm.
After, I think he's probably awake right now. Woke up for a few hours, did the revive attempted it, then went right back to sleep. So
Well, that was last night, so.
We'll probably about to get enough energy now since he slept most of the day then that night.
So you guys make it over to the blacksmith, who is a little hungover, but he's there working.
Ah, there's my favorite guy. All right. We have a project. And Vardrak, like, taps his pendant to summon his armor, and then he starts taking it off. Batsu here. It's going to make my armor better.
If you say so.
I came to purchase the material.
Oh, what are you gonna need?
He slides over the 4,000 gold. He's like, this much.
Well, I'm a little short. If you're gonna need any kind of crafting reagents for that, I only have about 3,000 or so gold worth of it. With trying to keep these increasing numbers of guards and infantry suited and weaponed, not a whole lot of extra material floating around.
Batsu, you have any remaining in your stash?
I have some. I'm missing about 200 if I add to from my stash.
Vakta might have some.
We could check.
Vardrak has some too, you know.
Has he?
We. Okay, I know this is sudden, but we can check what Grimble had.
Stop giggling.
I think Vardrak took all those.
Yes, Vardrak took everything, like his coin purse.
Vardrak's gonna look in his bags and he's like, "Oh wait, yeah, he did have a lot of shit."
He was a smith too.
How much did you need?
He didn't get much done. If I'm not going from my stash, it would be another 500 from him.
All right. Cliff, you deduct that.
You're giving him just 500?
Exactly what he's asking for.
Okay. All right. Boop. And then Vardrak. Boop. Okay. And then the 3,000 from the blacksmith too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So that is all taken care of. So he gives you your 1,000 gold back, Vardrak.
Vardrak rolls back in sleeves of his robes and he's like, "I want to help you with this. Make sure this is done right."
You want to come to the sewers then? Because I got my own station down there.
Why can't you just use the forge right here?
Cliff, would I get the advantage of my sewers up here?
Nope.
Like, since if you want this done right, I would prefer to go down to the sewers. I got everything I need there, and I know exactly where it's at.
Are you saying that my station's not good enough?
No, it's where I got my roots, but got things, done my way down there.
All right, fine. Have it your way. He puts on his cloak and pulls the hood over his eyes where you can barely make out who it is. You just his size really is giving it away. And he's like, all right, let's go. Ravage, you wait for us at the palace.
He nods and walks out.
Oh, and I want to put in an order too before we go. Those harnesses and stuff for my training exercises, they've been fantastic.
Training exercises.
I want to buy more.
Anything more than what you have right now, I'm not even sure how we would do it. I would have to put in a special order for sure.
Okay. Put in a special order for that. And then I want you to figure out another thing for me. Something that would increase my speed. Like I've gained a lot of body off of this training, but it's starting to slow me down. I need to speed up a bit.
Well, I don't see a way that we'd be able to do both. So you're going to have to prioritize one over the other.
All right. See what you can do as far as the speed then for now.
All right. So you're trying to build decks.
Yep. A lot of it.
So he takes some more measurements and he's trying to figure out what he could do as far as helping with building up your decks. Well, it'd be about 5,000 to get something suited for you to be able to. We'd have to get some elastic bands, and he's like measuring as he's like talking. Yeah, it'd be about 5,000 gold worth of material to get this done, but I don't have any of it here to be able to do this.
All right. How long would it take to get it in?
3 days to a week max, depending on how long it takes for the shipment.
All right. Stockpile it. If you need to pull extra from the treasury, do it.
All right, and he like pulls out a requisition form and he starts writing down everything.
And then Vardrock will sign whatever papers he needs to get permission for funding. And then follows Batsu.
What does Vardrock's signature look like?
That symbol that he put on Vakta's cheek is just that.
Like rips into the paper.
We don't need to be hearing about what kind of symbols are being made on her cheek there, Rock.
Like how Melissa's like finally realizing that was just his name.
Hey, at least you know what his name is.
Don't worry, Bob. Stop hitting me.
So you tear the paper with your signature, and he kind of looks at you for a second. He's like, we'll get it all ready for you.
Yeah, he's gonna follow Batsu into the sewers and try and lay low, or what he thinks is.
For Shiggles, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
No problem.
At disadvantage because you're wearing heavy armor.
Well, he doesn't have it on right now.
Oh, okay.
I would try to assist, but I don't even know where to start with that.
Help him draw less attention to himself. Go ahead and roll it one more time because it did it at disadvantage. Oh wait, no, it did advantage, disadvantage. How weird.
Yeah, I hit advantage because it's still going to cancel
perfect,
it.
okay.
Armor, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so you put your hood up and you try inconspicuously as possible to go in. Which direction do you plan on going into the sewers from?
Right behind Megami's house, taking the path away from the crater.
All right, so you guys take the long route, and you head to the woods behind Megami's house and hop into the little entrance that he has set up there. How many times have you been down here, Vardrak?
Never.
All right, so as you head down, you see you're in this large open area that it's much cleaner and nicer down there than what you assumed it would have been. And there's these kind of crude stone walls that have been put up that are partitioning this area off into different sections. On the ground next to you, you see that there's a large flow of water that's headed out into the main pipe to your north, with a bridge over to it, and you see that there's like desks set up. And you can see that there's some construction going on in the back where they're like digging out this tunnel to the far eastern wall.
You've made some great progress down here.
Yeah. Feels like home down here now. You walked past the main desk and into the forge area. And from there, he disrobes, turns into his wood elf form, and gets to work.
Why does everybody always get naked in front of Vardrak? I don't understand.
And he went in Rome.
Vardrak disrobes too. What are we doing?
On guard.
Where do I click that?
Vardrak is on guard.
Go ahead and do your Smith's tool. We'll give you one freebie as you are actively doing this right now.
Vardrak is going to be assisting.
So how do I get the bonus for those new tools that I got?
I already put it in there.
Okay, cool. So do I put advantage?
Nope. So real quick, Vardrak, how much knowledge do you have in blacksmithing?
No, it's more so like he is just like when Batsu says, hold here, hold this steady, he's just kind of doing that shit. Like he's not really.
Give me a 20 roll.
Right.
All right, go ahead and do it with advantage.
All right. Don't I get advantage anyways because I'm in the area?
Is that what one of the benefits of it?
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah. So that was good
All
job, Vardrak. So that is barely a success. So your first one is a success. And he's starting to put like a couple extra plates on it, and you could see that the front of it and like the chest area is starting to bulk out a little bit, and then there's some plates he was putting in the side. You can't really notice on the outside, but it's improving the structure of it. So that's one success. You need 2 more to get that upgraded. But you can't do them right now. So, Bacta, you wake up early afternoon, and Vardrak's gone. Didn't wake you up for training or anything today.
He hasn't been.
Oh yeah, since the incident.
Yes,
The
that we don't
incident.
speak of.
The incident.
All right.
Yeah. So you wake up to an empty bed.
She's gonna glance out a window and be like, "Oh, she's able to sleep in. That's great." And she's just gonna like go out into town, figure out what she. Probably go to the tavern for breakfast.
As you walk into like the main chamber of the castle, Ravage is there. You catch him like looking at your chair, trying to figure out where you pull all those wine bottles out. He's like, "Oh,
you're never gonna figure it out unless she just keeps walking by."
I wasn't. That's not what I was.
Yeah, he's going to start following her.
Wagging his tail.
He doesn't have a tail.
Wagging his nub. As you head out to the tavern, I mean, it for the most part, it's pretty empty at this time. Only a few, dedicated people are there.
Yeah, she's gonna order breakfast and then like tell her car, you can get food too if you haven't eaten yet. Like, I got it. I can pay. You're good. And just. I have the feeling he doesn't pay for his own food often because we're just kind of like, oh yeah, him too.
He looks around like he's not sure if it's okay, and then he like uncomfortably takes a seat and still very stiff.
She orders him a glass of wine. This is the one place where she doesn't have anything hidden.
Which is surprising.
Well, I can just order it here.
Water would be fine.
No mead, no rum, no anything?
Not while I'm working, ma'am.
Are you? But really?
The king says I need to focus on, my job and keeping my skills at top efficiency.
King's not here. This is breakfast time. You're on break.
He looks nervous.
I'll deal with him. It's fine.
As you wish, my lady.
Yes.
He goes into a barbarian rage.
And bar fight.
Oh, it's just like when Grimble was alive.
Seems like only yesterday.
Roll the intro.
Too soon. Fucking assholes.
You love us.
Yeah. See, you
Okay.
guys have you guys have your breakfast and everything. And in the middle of you eating, back to you hear this loud impact, and the ground kind of rumbles underneath you, ever so briefly.
Damn it. She's gonna look at watch my food, and then she's gonna go outside to see what it was.
Ravage grabs a random barmaid and says, "Watch her food," and then follows her out.
I'm assuming Ricard's coming downstairs and checking that out too.
So as you guys walk outside, you see a large group of people kind of gathered about, and they're pointing off to the southern side of the city.
Start walking over there, figure out what's going on.
And you just hear people talking like something fell out of the sky.
Something fell out of the sky. After yesterday, I can't just. She's just gonna keep going and just like
Another one.
again.
So in the middle of the southernmost farm, there's a group of people that have gathered around, and you see that there is smoke bellowing out of this crater.
I'm gonna have to reform this. I just fixed what Bardrock ruined.
This poor guy.
How unfortunate.
He's just looking out the window with a single tear, like, this is fine.
My family didn't need food this month.
Yeah. Guess I'll start.
It's only
It's a different farm. It's a different farm. I'm assuming it's a different guy.
It's a different farm. Yep. It's like it's only Vosus. Frost won't set in for another 3 weeks, so plenty of time to redo everything. As you
Why do I live here?
as you approach this crater, you see this figure laying inside of the middle of this crater with these large wings that looked similar to what you've seen on the angel, but they are blackened with like soot, and he's curled in the fetal position with like his wings wrapped around him, and he's just laying in this bellow of smoke.
Oh, should I put another bubble up? Fuck that. Who anger them this time?
Ravage has his spear on, stepping in front of Vakta. Shall I kill this, my lady?
This really doesn't seem like an attack, and if it is, I think we can handle this one.
That's what Grimble thought too.
Ravage kind of like jabs at it a little bit with the stance of his spear.
She smacks his arm the same way that she smacks Bardrock's arm. Stop it! Leave him alone.
He stands at attention.
But as she like smacks his arm, she like walks up and like nudges the figure's foot with her boot, just like,
Can
Hey,
record
buddy.
a medicine check on this thing?
You want to do a medicine check?
Yeah.
Sure, what are you trying to
You
figure
fell
out?
from the sky.
Sure did.
You might have a few boo-boos.
ouch.
It fell from the sky, but you don't see the typical wounds that you would see of someone that fell from a great height. All of this being's wounds seem superficial, or like they were there before he got here.
He ain't dead.
He definitely is
Dressed
not dead.
up.
Alright, Ravage, carry him to the temple. We're gonna... Maybe if we help one, then they won't try to fucking kill us.
He stows his spear and then reaches down, picks up this person, and like throws him over his shoulder.
Bacta grabs his spear and starts walking towards the temple ahead of them.
As Ricard picks him up,
Ravage.
throws him over his shoulder, or Ravage.
What he calls him.
After Ravage picks him up and tries to throw him over over his shoulder, you kind of like see him spin out from his grasp and land kind of, in a half knelt position, and his wings just spread open. Like, looks like ready for attack, but he doesn't really do much. He just has his head down, fist clenched, and then slowly looks up at you.
Ravage goes into a combat stance and activates rage.
No! Bacta just kind of stands there and looks at them and is like, there'll be no fighting in the field.
Ricard pulls out
Take
his
it
sword
aside.
and, like, holds it up against Ravage. It's like, let's not have another incident. I'm still trying to take care of our fallen friend.
He's not moving forward. He's not taking the action, but he's just sitting there like starting to like froth at the mouth like he usually does.
creature's still just standing there, kind of like breathing very heavily, like he fell from the fucking sky. But he's not attacking. He's not backing away. He's just kind of standing his ground and not saying a word, just staring at you. Like
Proctor looks at Ravage and it's just like, down, boy, down. And she looks to this thing that fell from the sky and it's just like, are you injured?
Doesn't say anything.
Do you want a drink?
You see,
She reaches into the crater.
This was literally just a field. What the fuck?
Why do you
Did
think
you
she
plant
helps?
a bottle?
Why do you think she works at all the fields?
Like as you say drink, like his eyes widen a little bit, and then just a single tear drops down from his face, and he just looks dead at Vakta, and just says, "Water," like trying to be intimidating.
Give me an intimidation check.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What did I roll to counter that?
You don't have to, don't worry.
I know. It's not gonna be...
You would
Still.
roll a Constitution save.
No. That's not gonna be good.
I told you didn't have to worry about it.
I know, but still.
That's not going to be good. Fucking doubles it. With you succeeding by more than 10, it would do the exact opposite. Instead of make you intimidated, it would almost either like infuriate or like
Oh no, I'm adopting another one.
yeah, it would either infuriate you or it would at the very least it would kind of hype you up, like this fucking music is doing. Oh my god.
I don't hear anything.
She like
I don't
whips
have
out her
any-
water skin and just tosses it to him, and she's like, "No wine, no. Does nobody else drink around here?" She like looks at Ravage like,
I mean,
"Is everybody working?"
Ricard just looks at you. I'll take one.
He like grabs the water skin out of the air and just flips open the top and just downs the entire thing, not stopping, just gulp after gulp, like he's so desperate for water, for sustenance, for anything. And then he just like takes a breath, like is still standing there, breathing heavily, just trying to regain himself. He finally stands up with more of a relaxed pose, throws the water skin down,
Rude.
and then like
You couldn't hand that back?
just kind of like looks around at his surroundings to see where the hell he is and what's going on.
And Ravage is still seething, like waiting for any sign from Vakta that she's giving the okay to rip your head off.
Vakta looks annoyed that he threw her water skin down, but she just like leans back, crosses her arms, and just waits. If this guy's just gonna stand there, so can she, and she's got all day and nowhere to be.
So, this is when I get to be the asshole and interject. So, Ravage, go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
Oh, God.
Because with this guy standing there in a semi-threatening manner and Ravage raging...
Oh, that can't be good.
So an 8's pretty terrible. What does Ravage do with this guy standing there kind of threateningly looking at Vakta?
So as in, he can't hold himself back, basically.
I mean, he's raging, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Um, he's gonna run up and basically try and tackle this guy to the ground.
Go ahead and do a strength check. And Jake, go ahead and do a strength save.
Ha!
Ooh.
So like as you go to tackle him, like he manages to stay on his feet and resist being knocked down. How are you gonna react to this giant beast coming to tackle you?
That was supposed to be at advantage. Because he's raging. Let me roll one more.
Bad, John.
Just to make sure. It's probably gonna. Oh shit!
Go ahead and give me another 20.
Damn it.
Oh,
No!
my God,
Go ahead and give me
no.
another 20.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck me.
Jake, roll me a 20, please.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a Constitution save, please.
Oh, the effect is not on him. That's why.
Boom.
I clicked the bubble, but it didn't. There we go.
Give me another 20, please.
Save the 20s for combat, guys.
No, this is perfect. You guys are doing great. So, this giant shaved beast charges at you and, like, tackles you at the waist, picks you up, and slams you down onto the ground. And he is basically standing over you, just looking down on you while you're on your back at this point.
Like after regaining his composure for a second, he just is looking straight up at Ravage. Going to kind of plant his feet into the ground, kick kind of perpendicular to the ground, so he's going across it, and then with his wings still spread, just pushing off of the ground, and is going to attempt to fly in the air.
Okay. So, Ravage, as you see him kind of kick off and push to the air, how is he going to react to that?
As like a reaction.
In general.
He's
Also,
gonna try-
Vakta, at any time, feel free to say something, step in, do something.
She's just
Cool.
watching. Ravage,
He's like, I saw the last time what happened when somebody shot one of these fuckers.
Ravage is gonna try and grab his foot and slam him back to the ground.
Okay. Strength check with advantage. And Jake, you could either do a strength save or a dex save.
Strength save for sure. Motherfucker.
Yeah, so you grab him by the foot as he's flying up, and basically he gets about waist height off the ground as you grab a hold of his ankle.
Factor's gonna scream for Ravage to stop. I don't know if I should roll persuasion or intimidation for that.
Well, which are you trying to be?
Loud. I'm trying to get him to stop.
Probably intimidation.
Oh, I don't have proficiency in that. Where's Vardrak when you actually need him? That's not good.
Naked in the sewers. And who are you trying to intimidate?
I'm yelling at Ravage to stop, so...
Ravage,
I
go
know.
ahead and Constitution save against that intimidation.
John, don't go in like that. John, roll a 1.
Fail.
Damn it!
Oh, damn.
So I mean,
Y'all are just
you like
determined to kill my
you like
character.
turn and look at Vakta while holding his ankle.
Put him down.
He's still just like flapping, just trying to stay in the air.
So she says, "Put him down."
She says put him down.
Ravage is gonna try and slam him to the ground.
No!
You said to a barbarian, put him down.
Go ahead and give me an athletics.
God damn it.
Who?
Him. You can either do an athletics to combat this, or you can do an acrobatics.
Not great at either.
Go ahead and give me a 20 roll, please.
Boom.
Ooh, nice.
Ravage pulls down and slams him back to the dirt, and the dust kind of kicks up as his wings flop back to the ground.
Like, he does it while still looking at Vodka like he's waiting for the next instruction.
Let him go.
Motherfucker just fucking hulked me. Just boom, boom, boom.
He lets go.
Go get Vardrock.
He like bows and then starts heading for the sewer.
And what is Ricard doing the entire time this is going down?
Yes, my pretty.
Besides licking his lips and rubbing his hands together.
He was sheathing his weapon
into the
and
corpse.
holding his gauntlet out, preparing to cast a spell. But after Ravage let him go, he like relaxes. Just wait to see what this guy is gonna say now. Do you want some more water?
Vox is gonna walk over to a water skiing, pick it up, and swish it to see if there's anything in there.
It's empty. Completely empty.
He just like puts it back on her belt and glares at the guy.
He like jumps up off the air, like just enough to like kind of hover, just flapping his wings, just enough to stay up and kind of just trying to keep himself mobile. And he just looks at Vakta and goes, "What is with this meaningless violence? I did not come here threatening you."
Yes, well, you threw the queen's property on the ground, and my guard didn't take kindly to that.
Forgive
Generally,
me,
when the
I
queen
just
gives you
fell
water.
from the sky.
Yes, well, would you like a healer? And she gestures to a car. She's smiling, but it's not a nice smile.
Jake, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Arno.
So, Vakta, around this time, you notice that there are about 10 guards that have gathered around behind this person with their weapons basically at the ready. He doesn't realize they're there yet.
She just raises her hand in the stand down motion and just doesn't say anything.
To be fair, we tried talking. You didn't really say much.
Well, forgive me for not being so forthcoming with information in a land I do not know.
A stranger falls into our kingdom. We're gonna be a little wary after just being attacked by another of your kind, I presume.
Of no knowledge of that I possess. I have been in the void for I don't know how long.
Can I see if he's lying?
Yeah.
Would that be?
An insight check.
Okay.
Or no, it'd be perception. Sorry, perception.
Okay.
He doesn't appear to be lying.
Vakta, I feel like we should take this to a more private area. I think you're muted.
I couldn't tell if she
I
was
don't
muted
think
or
I
if that
am.
was just her being that baffled.
Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, honestly.
I'm assuming there's a crowd gathered around.
Yeah. Voxer's not walking away.
Guy finally, realizes that he's not in immediate danger from just getting kicked to the ground and thrown back into it. But with the sweaty hand beast now gone, he doesn't feel as threatened.
Oh, wait till Valdrak gets here.
So he lowers back down to the ground, just kind of very, very softly. It's like a sand landing with the feet perched back. And he shuffles his cloak back over, or his coat back over. Kind of just trying to conceal as much of himself as he can. Looks up, sighs heavily, and just says, "Please forgive me. That much torment would make anyone a little on edge. My name is Tall Deer. Did not come to pick a fight with you. I come seeking a very specific purpose.
What is it you seek?
Justice."
That's, so detailed.
I seek justice for those who were killed without mercy. For the pantheon that is now fallen. For my patron, who is now gone.
Maybe we can help each other.
How could you help me? Are you
Well-
of the heavens? Certainly do not look of the sort.
She raises an eyebrow and swishes her tail and just kind of looks at him for a moment, just like, really? Really? We're gonna go there?
Meant no offense. You are clearly not of my kind.
Well, we haven't heard from our patron either. And it's been kind of an issue. And we're being affected by a different patron being missing, so honestly, if we want to figure this out, maybe we can work together. And then we'll try to make sure that Ravage doesn't body slam you into the ground again.
That would be most beneficial for all parties involved.
As you say that, how does Ravage explain to Vardrak what's going on?
He says, another angel man fall from the sky. Not golden and pretty like last one, but smaller and puny-ish. And
Fuck you! Sorry, Bob.
he and Garden talking to Vakta.
How does Vardrak react to that?
He's putting on the last buckle and he's like raises an eyebrow, looks over at Batu. Let's go.
Yeah. Never get a fucking rest. Then he runs back.
Stupid. What to do?
And
Sit here and enjoy my book.
so no, you're still working on his armor.
Okay.
This is gonna take, that's a 4+ hour job to do stuff like this.
Okay.
So how is Vardrak making his way over here?
Make my way down
He's retracing his
Nothing
steps.
fast.
Back
I mean, is
to-
he like rushing over there, or is he just kind
No, no,
of
no.
walking?
He's walking with like kind of that's almost speed walking with a purpose.
Like his head
But-
leaned forward, and he's
Well, very straight back, like like he's prepared to be, royal like.
King.
Yeah, okay.
the king climbing out of the sewers.
Sure, Vardrak, you try that. You go ahead.
So, as Taldir says, now that he's gone, I feel, less threatened. As you say that, you see this figure emerge from around a house, walking right towards you. It's this large, 7-foot tall, red tiefling in this kind of decked out armor, like a regalia, with the large beast walking to his side, and they are walking directly at you.
And I have Vardrak's armor still.
No, Vardrak said he put it on.
Not
So-
if Batsu's still working on
Yeah.
it.
So you're just using your commoner's clothes then?
Yeah, like he's got his little royal robes that he usually wears around the kingdom. He's got that on in the cloak.
So a slightly less intimidating 7-foot tall tiefling and the big monster walking behind him.
That's a huge okay. Still just standing there, not moving. He's probably heard the guards behind him now, so he's like giving a look over his shoulder, like sizing up the potential threat of what's going on.
Vakta just shakes her head. They won't hurt you until I say. If I say.
And they're all standing there with like their weapons not at ready, but they're still drawn.
I feel very Cersei-like right now. I don't like it. Power is power.
So as Vardrak's approaching, from the other direction, like kind of like behind Vakta, Asha is coming and pushing through the crowd and is walking up to this new visitor, and she starts sniffing at him.
Vakta just looks around, sees Vardrak coming, and just everybody out of the farm fields. Over to the grass now.
Everyone's just trampling this farm.
What is Asha again?
She looks like
A demonic tiger or something, right?
basically
Okay.
same like color and scale patterns and everything as Vardrak.
Okay.
So she looks intimidating as shit, and she's like walking at you, just like smelling you.
Aldi is just going to put a hand up and like out towards Asha, like not looking threatened, but is very comfortable with large beasts.
She lets you rub her.
Well, this is a family
Just-
show, guys.
Eh.
Just starts to pet Asha on the head. Calmly looks back over and just asks, "What is this one's name?"
That is Asha. She is my husband's.
She's a beautiful creature. What exactly is she?
Vakta opens her mouth to answer and then just shuts it and just.
You open your mouth to answer it, and then Vardrak walks up right next to you.
Yeah, he steps up, and a much more calm Ravage is beside him. Says, "Who's your new friend here?"
This is Tall Beer. He just fell from the sky. In my field. Sorry, and she like looks over to the farmer. Your field.
It's fine.
Would probably not, but Taldir probably wouldn't have any like coin or anything on him from when he was working as an adherent.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Okay.
We probably should have built something for you for that, but yeah.
He's going to look back at the crater that he's left in this poor farmer's field. Looks back at the farmer and just goes, "I do apologize," and throws him a small coin pouch with however much, like enough money that I realistically would have had that would keep a normal peasant very well off for a while.
Like 50 gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just turns back to the rest of the group and just kind of nods his head and says, "Truly, I do apologize. I had no way of knowing where I was going to come out."
Well, let's move to someplace a little less, and she looks around, public, and we can discuss how you got here. And she looks at Vardrak. It's like, how about we move to the temple?
Yeah, of course. He's just kind of looking past Taldir at the crater, and he's like, "Are you gonna need some healing?"
Taldir looks down at himself, kind of, opens his jacket briefly to check himself, and he just looks up and says, "No, I think I'm fine." And just deadpan, just no surprise, no anything.
Okay. Well, right this way. And then he starts heading to the temple, and then Ravage walks behind him, and behind Taldir, like he's waiting for him to move.
Doctor looks at Ravage like, he's not a prisoner.
No, of course not.
As Vardrak turns to walk away, Taldir follows him, but walks a little bit quicker to then walk next to Vardrak. And he looks over and says, "So is this your kingdom?"
As he says that, an entire, colony of ants spills out of his mouth.
Stop, guys! Come on!
He just got here.
I'm trying to portray a certain presence here, and y'all are making it real fucking hard.
So is this your kingdom? And it's like they spill out.
Death of Bob.
He's been dying for 10 seconds now.
That's a little gross even for me.
Was that Ricard?
And he walks slower. Keep the distance between you.
Jake, give me a 20 roll, please.
God damn it.
Oh my goodness.
He chokes up the last couple of ants and just coughs and throws them on the ground and brushes everything off of himself and just says, "My apologies. I'm not fully accustomed yet to my new gifts." Just looks up and not even really moving his head, just spits, and a single ant just comes shooting out of his mouth.
Vardrak turned and looked at you as you started talking, and as this all happened, he kept walking, but his eyebrow went way up.
It's just up here.
Yeah.
The eyebrow flew off, is hanging around his horn. Like,
Like, yes, this is our kingdom, and he just kind of like gestures back to Vakta, and so, let's get you checked out before you say anything else. And he's gonna lead you inside the temple. Fuck, where's the temple?
I don't even. How many fucking effects do I have now? What the fuck,
Dude,
man?
I have an entire. Do you see this entire blob of text here? These are all your effects right now, and they're all in shorthand.
The chat is going crazy right now. I don't know how Cliff's keeping up with all this.
And we killed Grinch too. Cool. Is Asha inside the house? What the fuck?
She stayed outside.
Where's
Fuck, what is that other one's name?
or Vakta?
I'm
Damn it,
still in the
Cliff.
field.
What's our priest's name?
There was.
Uathor. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the fucking the head of the Church of Tiamat? That guy?
Yeah.
Just little old him?
Him.
He's gonna flag him down once he walks into the temple. This Asamar, I'm assuming, fell from the sky, and he says he doesn't need to be checked out, but then he's spitting out bugs. So could you look him over?
He kind of like looks at you with like a bit of disdain. Another ASMR. You fell from the sky. How? What? Were you flying on something? Where were you flying to?
I was at home with on my patron's plane. I was serving as a steward, and all of a sudden all I heard was explosions, and I got knocked from the heavens, and I fell through the void for I don't know how long, and now I am here.
So you were on another plane.
Yes.
And he kind of like looks at Vardrak and he kind of motions to the side.
I was checking to see if Vardrak noticed that look of disdain, and apparently he did.
Yeah, he definitely did. I need another 22.
Yeah, that was 4. If you
Oh,
wanna
that's
roll
on the 4.
damage.
Okay.
He delegated it.
Yeah.
Roll my die.
Who is the one that you serve?
Well, I did serve Tyr, but I am afraid that he too has fallen, if what your lady friend here tells me is correct. Muted, Melissa.
Am I?
Oh, I can hear you now.
We're not.
You just be doing what you want.
What did you just say?
With the different patrons and gods that we've heard being killed from the ASMR, I only assumed that his might have fallen as well.
Do you have any gifts that depend on your god in order to use?
Well, I feel completely different now than I did before. I think my time in the void, something else called to me, and I think that is why I am now here. But I feel as though my power has been almost tainted. It is changed. It is not pure and of the light that it once was, but is it now hungers for something. I don't know what it is.
And Uthor's like, physically, he is fine. But with all these events of angels, I'm not sure it's so safe to have him here.
The religion role is to see if I'm familiar with anything having to do with the patron that he mentioned.
With Tyr?
Yeah.
Not really. You know of him, you know he's the god of justice. But it's never been something that you've particularly like sat down to study.
Right. Well, you know that Dracarius is a place that we don't banish anyone for who they are, is what they do. And so far, he hasn't done anything to violate any of our laws. And an Asamar is not an angel.
No, this I know, but they do share a connection.
Well, it sounds like his connection was lost.
And what was gained?
He kind of picks up his hands and looks down, and it's almost as if he could see the blood coursing through his hands with a lot more clarity, like it's almost visible through his hands. And as he picks them up and turns them over, you can see like these deep red lines going across his hands, and just across his skin they'll kind of appear and dissipate, flowing over his face and hands of what is visible. And he reaches back and feels like what is on himself, and he just picks up, still coiled up, this whip that was on his belt, and you see this like glow of red like rush over and kind of course through the whip all the way to the end, and it very distinctly looks like a deep blood red.
As that happens, you just hear this crackle of magic as Uthor's hands are glowing at this point.
Vardok's like, well, whatever magic that you're doing, friend, I suggest you're not doing in this temple. It makes people uneasy.
He kind of looks down at his hand, like at the whip, with a concerned look on his face, not really fully understanding what's going on. He just says, I meant no offense. I'm just as confused as you are. And he puts the whip back on his belt and clasps it up and just holds his hands up and places them on his leg.
And as you do that, Uthor walks up and he puts 2 fingers on your forehead and he pushes a little bit. And as he does, you start to see all these images flash through your mind. And you see these makeshift, like jigsaw puzzle images that are flashing in no particular order. And you see yourself falling, and you see the plane of justice, and you see Tyr, and you see your body hit this purple sea. And as you go under this purple sea, you still feel like you're falling. Not that it's water, but it's the astral sea that you fell through. and you see this giant eye for a moment, looking back at you as you kind of pull yourself away, and you feel this rush of thoughts just flow over your body.
Kind of sits there, like stammered, like falls back for a second, kind of stunned by what he's seen, and he gasps for air and just says, What has happened to me? He looks up at Uathor and just goes, Do you know what this is?
Whatever this is, it's big. But I only saw what you saw, fragments.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I recognize what it was?
You sure can, and whatever your highest proficiency is, just roll that skill.
Just as an ability roll?
Yep. Whichever one you have that's the highest. And what are you trying to figure out?
Just like what kind of magic this is, or like what if anything, what like type of creature did I see in that vision? Like through my studies of magic and being under tier and everything, would I have come across anything like this?
No.
Okay.
No, the images that you saw, you would recognize the astral sea, which is what you were considering like the void before. With this moment of clarity, you know that it was the astral sea. You have a sickening gut feeling that every connection with Tyr that you had has been severed. And whatever this thing was, you feel like its blood is running through your veins.
Okay. Like still regaining his breath and looking at his hands, and just goes, I feel something, but I'm not quite sure what. Do you have a place that we could go to safely experiment with this? I assure you I will not attack any of you or your...
Luthor looks over to Vardrak.
The school has a training area where the students can try experimental magics, usually safely. So there is probably the best shot to figure out what you can do or what this is.
When would be an appropriate time? I would much rather get a hold of this sooner rather than later. Your town is so riddled with threats, as your people say.
Well, we are going to be leaving soon, but you can see what answers you can get in a little bit of time. But unfortunately, Uathor's concerns in a time like this will be commonplace around the kingdom. We just had a visitor with wings fall from the sky and kill one of our own and threaten everyone else. So tensions are a bit high. So as we are going on our trip, we're going to have to insist that you come with us, or you are free to leave the kingdom. It's up to you.
Well, if you would allow me time to see what I can do, I would be happy to join you, seeing as how I have no place here. I do not wish to bring terror upon your people.
And as you say that, more ants just spill out of your mouth. Don't want to bring terror amongst your people.
Especially if this keeps happening. I don't know what this is. He stands up and goes to make his way to the door to go to the training ground.
So don't worry. I know you're not familiar with the kingdom, so we'll make sure that you stay safe in this time and get everything that you need. So I'll have Ravish personally escort you around the kingdom.
Vata rolls her eyes. Like,
you'll be in good hands. Ravish, take him to the school, and once he's done there, before we leave, take him by the smith and also by the tavern so he can get food and supplies and any weaponry, armor he might be able to get. And we will meet back up later.
Jake, give me a percentile die, please.
Ooh.
All right. So Ravid stands behind you and kind of nudges you with his shoulder a little bit and nods in the direction of the door.
Goes to open the door and makes his way over to the training ground. Doing so at like a couple steps ahead of Ravage. And flying just above the ground. Looking back every couple like minute or two because he doesn't trust Ravage at all.
Vardruk has no idea when it transpired.
As he walks out, Uathor kind of like leans in like, "Do you sure you know what you're doing with taking him with you?"
Well, if he does turn out to be something that he's not appearing to be.
better to do it away from the town.
Exactly.
Well, I couldn't agree more, but you could have just told him to be on his way.
I could. And the thought crossed my mind. But the timing of this all. If it's a trap, I want to be the first to know. If this is something that'll benefit us in the coming war, let's face it, that's what it seems to be that we are now preparing for, then perhaps he can offer some sort of advantage or insight into what's going on up there.
Unless he's playing for the other team.
Exactly, which is why I mentioned him potentially being a trap or a plant. But again, if it is, he'll be away from the town and we will handle it. If anything is suspicious, we will end him.
Keep an eye on him. There's a certain darkness about him.
Yeah, but...
It's like you've never even met us.
He kind of gives you like a little grin.
Did you find out anything about the phylacteries or liches in their studies?
Well, not a whole lot more than what we already knew. The lich can use it to regain their strength. If they are slain in their mortal body, they will return to the phylactery to regain their strength. Destroying it destroys their ability to regenerate, which is the only way that you would be able to kill them. But other than that, only stories. They're guarded typically by great magic that personifies any sort of effects that are nearby sort of amplifies what they're able to do.
So the lich is amplified by the surroundings, or
Anything that is within contact, if it is guarded, any of the traps, any wards, any creature set to protect it, and of course, the lich themselves.
yeah. He turns to Vakta and Rakir and says, well, we have the message we were waiting on. We have...
You do?
Yes,
Does he
she's...
still have that symbol on his head?
Yeah.
He points to it.
Oh. And that means...
That the location is seared into my mind while I have this mark.
That is an interesting spell.
Yes, she said she had knowledge of things that most others do not, so guessing this is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just taking it one thing at a time. But as Uathor just said, we're going to be facing a lot of traps, and unfortunately, my love, that will be your expertise more than anyone else's. It's not the reaction I was hoping for.
How long has it been since I've done that?
Oh, never.
Hey, I took care of traps once. I think it was when Reno was still around. Well,
Deviant did that.
oh, and where is Devian? That's what I fucking thought.
Somewhere.
So everyone should go and get everything that they're going to need for the trip. Let's get some horses, and we should be setting off in a few hours if possible.
And one of the priests comes in as you say that, and he kind of like looks at you guys like, well, I'm glad I caught you all here. We have prepared Grimble's body for the ceremonial rites, if you would like to attend.
Ah, yes, of course. She like looks at Vardrach and like nudges him with her elbow. Just sharp jab.
He's like, huh? What? Oh, yeah. We'll be right there.
Such a dick, John.
So he holds the door open and waits for you all to exit. And he ushers you guys towards like the graveyard, and just on the other side of the graveyard, there's this pyre set up with Grimble's body laid atop of it. And he has Typhoon in his clutch.
I really hope it's not loaded before I reset.
Of course it's loaded.
It fires off and his body just goes flying off.
So we did as a mace in the barrel.
Of course it's loaded.
Somewhere in another campaign, a dwarf falls from the sky.
Like Weekend at Bernie's, but with Grimble.
Oh no.
So the priest begins the ceremony, and there are two other priests that are to the side, and they're casting the ceremonial spell over him, while the priest that brought you guys out there is saying some incantations and saying some words and prayers of Tiamat. And after he's done, he looks at Vardrak and Vakta. Would you like to pay your last respects?
Fucking falling asleep, motherfucker. Do you want to fucking go, John? You show some goddamn respect. He fucked up those kobolds or gnolls or whatever the fuck they were. Fucking start with me now. Don't want to fucking hear it.
He looks at
Goddamn
Vakta
savior.
with this kind of like...
Vakta just... Well... So most of us did come to know and love Grimble as the town drunk. He did, before, help us defend the city and our people many a time. And traveled with us and was a great fighter in the battle against Orcus. And for that, I wish him well in the afterlife. And she, looks at Vardrak and just kind of like... a very subtle, it's your fucking turn. Say nice things.
All right. He stands up, straightens out his clothes, and Grimble was a dwarf. He had a beard. Yeah, which he said he'll be missed. And he snaps his finger, and he fucking bonfire ignites underneath his body to start the funeral pyre.
And as you do that, you guys are looking on at the pyre beginning to grow with flames. And Vakta, you're looking at the body as the flames start to reach up towards it. And a little bit of the foundation that he's on kind of crackles a bit, and the body shifts. And as it does, his head kind of snaps and looks at you, and 86 gold pieces fall out of his mouth.
Joey Bob.
This is gonna be a thing. Every death.
Ricard, we told you to stop putting your money in corpses.
The new guy's
It's
lecturing
not a
you
good
already.
way to store it.
Fucking gross, man.
Vardrak sees the gold falling out of his mouth, and then he actually starts welling up a little bit. Like,
Divian.
I'm surprised he didn't reach in with his resistance to fire. Just be like, I'll take that.
Oh no, it's on
gosh,
the ground in
Divian.
front of you guys. It's not in the fire.
Oh, okay.
Vakta, you look over and Vardrak is ugly crying. He didn't say anything, he's just ugly crying. You're like, oh, it's okay. It's, Grimble will be missed.
he's like, I miss him.
We all miss him. It's just pat.
So on the other side of town, Ravage escorts Taldir over to the school and into the training room. And he's kind of just standing by the doorway, just looking at you.
Taldir, finds these weapons that are on him that, he wasn't used to before. He's like, well, this is new. And he undoes the whip and looks down at his hand, and there's just another big glow of this, blood red energy that flows over it. And he just throws it, just never having used a whip before, just throws it at I assume there's, training dummies or whatever in there. And he throws it at a training dummy. And and there's just this.
Make an attack roll.
No, I know. I'm trying to remember exactly how. Oh nope! Sure doesn't hit shit his first time.
Trading
Like,
dummies,
well then, let's try that again.
Ravage is over there laughing.
Yeah, and the second time, it gets a huge crack, just like this cacophony, just echoes throughout the building, like enough that if there was anybody studying in there, they probably would have like stopped and looked at what the hell was like what happened.
Yeah, like as he hits it, there's just like this bolt of lightning that just comes out of nowhere. Like in addition to the crack of the whip, there's just this sharp crack of lightning that just hits the dummy and just like splinters the top of it open. And then he turns back around and looks at Rakar. Or not Rakar, Ravage. He looks at Ravage and what does he see?
Ravage goes from like this big deep belly laugh from your first attack. All of a sudden he like
Okay, well, that's interesting. And then he looks at his other hand, and there's like it's almost like a little bit of a purplish energy flowing around his hand, and he gets the idea, and he just points out his hand. And okay, so how do you do a ranged spell attack then?
You just do. It should have an attack on the spell. Should be the die icon.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and as you do that, this bolt of like dark eldritch energy shoots out.
Just at another one of the target dummies and just doesn't do a whole fuck of a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dummy made of like stuffed with hay and whatnot. Like the eldritch energy really isn't going to be much of an effect to it. It kind of just hits it, and the dummy just warbles a bit.
If I use any spells, is that going to use my spell slots for later?
Sure is.
But
But you don't know that you have spell slots.
yeah, that's true. Well, then I guess I would have had to. Which Crimson Right is my Storm one? There's 4 buttons here, and I used the one.
Let me see.
Right of the edit that they don't say on the individual effect buttons themselves. It just says max HP loses, but it doesn't specify the damage flavor on each button.
Yeah, I don't know which one it would be. Like what the effect of it is.
Well, I know what the effects are, but each of the buttons don't. Like, it just changes the damage type, and then one of the esoteric rights does it something else too.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that part too much right now.
Okay.
We'll figure it out when we're doing it.
All right. So then he'll he's tossing the whip back and forth, and he's not really paying a ton of attention. And like through one of his tosses, he like fumbles the whip, and he catches it out with one hand, but his finger happens to be pointed out. And as he does that, one of the target dummies,
Yeah, that definitely surpasses a target dummy AC.
Right, yeah. And just this thing just erupts in flames.
Yeah, it's the same one you hit the first time with the Eldritch Blast. It's like, and then
Yeah. So spell slot. And he's just like taken aback for a second, just like not really sure what to think about because he's never had that ability to set something on fire. He's normally much more calm and reserved. But he like lets out kind of like a belly laugh and kind of almost mad, like a maddened laugh of power, but he regains his composure and slowly turns around and looks up at Ravage and just says, "Okay, I think I'm ready."
He's like kind of squinting at you as he's seeing you do these things. This is. Masters say you need weapon or armor. You clearly have weapons. You need armor.
Oh, I think this should be okay for now. I prefer to be able to move freely. Armor would slow me down, but I thank you for your offer.
Food or drink?
Food and water would be amazing. Yes.
Come. And he's gonna lead him to the tavern to stock up on rations.
And as you guys are walking away, one of the mages comes in and starts casting. And you see like the stuffing and shit starts swirling around and just and this dummy just gets rebuilt.
Cool.
So you guys go and you get stocked up on your rations. Vardrak, Vakta, Batsu, you guys see Ravage and Toldir walk past the ceremony and head towards the tavern.
Deer still have his wings out.
They're not deployed, but they're still attached to him. They're on his back, but they're like curled up.
Hey, Vardrak, what the hell's another fucking ASMR doing in here?
I don't know if you heard it when we were down there, but there was like something that shook the ground for a moment. Apparently it was him falling from the sky. We haven't determined yet if he is truly a friend or foe, but he believes that he's no threat to us at least.
I doubt he's gonna be any friend of mine. He's not a fallen ASMR. He still has his wings, but they're dark. I don't think I've ever seen one like this.
I have once, long time ago, but never mind that. The thing is, he's it seems to be an ASMR, and he was thrown out of his plane after his god was attacked, it seems. So instead of instead of leaving him here, he's gonna come with us. You might want to let your wife and let them know to kind of keep their wings down for a little while.
Well, like I said, like he has wings. They don't. They have bones and remains of wings from when they were ASMR. Whenever they do choose to actually summon them, he is still tied to his patron or whatever, and at least in some way.
Yeah, he's not sure what's going on, and neither are we. And Uathor seems to believe that his memory seems to be fractured.
I don't trust this guy.
Well,
You trust anyone?
Can anyone trust anyone?
The guy playing with Dead over there, I trust him, and that's saying something if I can't trust this supposed angel.
well, just as anyone, trust will have to be earned, but I think he at least understands that. So we'll keep an eye on him for now. See what happens, but I'm hoping that he will be beneficial to us. The timing is just too coincidental.
John, give me a D12 roll.
That is not a 12.
As you guys are talking, the sun has dropped below, the tree line in darkness has risen. And as you guys are there, partaking in the remainders of
Fucking
the
rude.
ceremony.
It's really rude.
Vardak,
Rude.
you get this sharp pain in your head that starts at like your forehead, and it seems to just go all the way back to the base of your cranium, and you suffer 8 points of cold damage.
Does it seem like it started at the symbol?
Sure does.
All right. He goes, and he just kind of rubs his head for a little bit. Okay, I think we need to get our stuff and get going. This is becoming troublesome.
Batsu and Vakta, go ahead and give me a perception check, please. You both notice as Vardrak winces and rubs his forehead that the symbol on his forehead has changed.
I read it.
Give me an Arcana check with a +2.
Oh,
So
no.
10. You cannot read it.
No.
Vardrak, you're it's different.
Vakta, give me a skill check using your highest proficiency skill.
Highest proficiency. That would have been a 25.
As you touch his forehead and tell him that it's changing, his forehead is like cold to the touch. And Vardrak, you notice as she's talking to you, her eyes grow completely white. And instinctively, Vakta, you know that the symbol on his forehead is a 9.
Yes, called it.
Okay. Didn't you say this was a 10?
It was before.
This is 9.
Then it looks like we need to hurry.
Yeah.
Or did Ravage and Taldir catch up to them?
You guys would be heading back right around this time, yeah.
Okay.
Any of you need to pack up anything before we go?
Yeah, I'll be back. And here's your armor, by the way. And he starts eyeballing Taldir as he walks to Megami's house.
Vardrak starts putting his armor back on.
Sin's never gonna come.
What is Batsu doing?
Going just to talk to Megami.
She'd be at her house. And like as you walk in the door, she kind of rushes over to you and gives you a hug. Like, what is going on? What's with all the commotion? I heard people saying that there was another angel.
Not an angel, fucking ASMR.
She kind of like You see like her smile and everything kind of turn to this concerned look.
Yeah, I had that same reaction. He's still tied to his patron. He's not like you or Hitch.
So you're saying he still has his wings?
Yeah. But they are like charcoal black, and he has this weird red thing about him.
I don't even know what that would be. None of the angels I know, any of their offspring have black wings. That's something that's typically saved for the demons.
Yeah, there's something off about him. You and Hitch, keep your distance from this guy. I don't want whatever affected him to maybe affect you guys too. I don't know.
So what are you guys taking him with you?
Yeah, I don't. Vardrock doesn't want him in the city. I don't want him. Period. But he's coming along.
She just kind of like the smile still hasn't came back to her face.
While we're gone, I'm gonna see if I could get anything more out of him. See if he's actually an ASMR and not some kind of demon or something. But like I said, you, Hitch, Whisper, stay away from him.
Yeah, don't worry about us. We're safe here. But you make sure you're careful.
Yeah. You can only fly. You can't catch me. If anything happens.
Wow.
For the first time since the conversation started, she smiles again.
So, I'm gonna go. I don't know when I'll be back, but if anything happens, Choro's gonna know about it. So.
Well, make sure you use that speed to get your ass back here quick.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing any more suicide shit. Not for a while, at least. Until I figure out what the hell's going on with this devil.
Wow.
So, give her a hug, a kiss on the forehead, and going to Whisper's room real quick.
And yeah, I mean, she's just in the crib asleep.
Just give her a kiss on the forehead goodbye and heading back out.
And as you exit, you see the rest of the group off in the distance, getting everything together, and they have the horses and everything already in order.
Vardrock's he's talking to Kirilla, handing her a list, and he's describing like things that he wants to add to the castle. And he's like, yeah, so we're gonna do the armory, the barracks, we're gonna need like a battle ring for training, and a dining hall to feed all the troops, a war, we're gonna get all that going. That should about cover it. Anything else, Vakta, that we should add?
Do we have a wine cellar yet?
Not like you need one, Miss Pocket Wine.
The kitchen, I'm sure, is plenty stocked, my love.
The only wine
So
cellar
am
would be
I.
in the tavern.
Out of the horse.
Oh God.
Oh no. Nobody likes warm wine, guys.
The whole different kind of wine.
Oh, perhaps a poisoner's grotto for you, right? You'd like
Oh.
that, right?
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, well, just start on that when we can, and we'll be back after we figure some things out.
That's what my shed was gonna be used for. Before Brimble. No, it's Megami's shed.
Well, you're gonna go bring
Full of
bad
bottles, by
memories.
the way. You open that door, prepare to get a fountain of fucking bottles.
Y'all think Vakto's an alcoholic? She doesn't do that.
Hey, he's an alcoholic. He was a hoarder.
And Vardrug got back with the smith to see how if he's able to get any of the training supplies.
Bro, it's the same day.
Yep.
Got
You got no Vardrug.
that shit yet? I haven't even sent out the order. It's right here.
I sent the acquisition out. Like I said earlier, it should be another 3 days to a week at most.
All right, excellent. All right. He turns around and just leaves.
Walks back in 5 minutes later. So!
Still 3 days. I was just told it's gonna take 2 weeks. And cost more.
Sorry. Oh, so sorry, Vardra. I guess you're just gonna have to wait.
Fucking Comcast. All right, so he gets back to horses and everything. It's, okay, everyone's set to go.
Yes.
All right. He gets up on Asha and then starts leading everybody out to the direction of where his head is telling him it's the right way.
Yeah, like if anybody's actually looking at Vardrak, you guys would see his eyes just turn all white. And he just like kind of tugs on the reins, kicks off, and then just starts darting in a general direction out of the town.
Would Taldir have caught the symbol on his head? Like, been able to, like, see what it is?
Yeah, I'm sure you, within talking to him, you would have seen the symbol. Give me an Arcana check, please. Actually, give me a skill check using your worst skill.
I wanted to do an Arcana check. That was the entire point of the question, Cliff.
I do one using your worst skill. This is your Arcana check.
Hey.
You're not entirely sure what it is. You do recognize it as an arcane rune of some sort. And you do realize that it looks different now than it did previously when you were talking to him in the temple.
How fast does Sasha go? Like, are they going at a pretty good clip?
Yeah, I mean, the same pace as a horse for the most part. So you guys would all be keeping the same pace.
Okay. If I were to be flying, could I catch up just by flying? Or would I have to be riding?
You would probably have to be riding. I mean, you may be able to keep up for a little while, but your wings are going to tire way faster than a mount would.
Right, okay. So, like, as he takes off, Taldir is going to, like, catch up to him flying, just looking over, kind of peering over sideways at him and be like, the mark has changed. Interesting. And he falls back and lands on one of the horses and keeps riding.
As he swoops in your face and says that, some ants spill out onto Asha.
Bro, could you not?
Artificial tension.
Vardrak aware of his surroundings while he's looking at the mind map or whatever?
I mean, so you seem completely lucid and aware of everything, but anytime that you actually like reach into your mind to try to figure out where you're going, you kind of just like all attention is on that. But it's only for like a moment, like to make sure your bearings are straight and you're going the right direction, and then you're back to just being regular old Vardrak.
Okay. Because then, yeah, he sees this and goes, ugh, and just kind of sweeps Asha's right.
Asha's just telepathically communicating. Like, something's crawling on my back.
Like, it's fine. It's fine. Keep going.
So you guys head out of the east exit and start taking a path north towards the collapsing rise. And you guys get to the area where it would split off and actually take you towards the path that you guys took before to head to the northern side of Amethil. And you guys, without warding, see Vardrak just veer right into the woods.
Okay, and I'm just gonna rear back and just, I guess, that way and just follow him.
And at this point, I mean, you guys have been riding for a while. It is in the early hours of the morning right now. I mean, you guys are probably only a couple hours away from sunrise. What are you guys doing?
If people are starting to look, a little fatigued, definitely going to stop and try and get a little bit of rest in.
Yeah, because Vardrak doesn't look like he's tired at all.
I mean, in that case, he'd keep going unless someone said something.
Vardrak, we've been riding most of the night. I think the sun is like right on the horizon. You sure you don't want to stop for some sleep, man?
Do you need some?
You look like the only one that doesn't need some.
He looks back to look at everyone.
I mean, I don't think that Taldir would be too terribly off. He, for some reason, appears like he's pretty good throughout the night. Like, he's been able to see fine, and he's not visibly tired, at least.
This is you, my love.
When have I ever turned down sleep?
True, fair point.
I mean, really?
I'm gonna find like a good spot where we can kind of stop and make a small camp.
Damn, Asha got big.
Asha's huge.
Thick.
Hey.
With 3 C's.
So you guys, you're quite a ways off of the path at this point, and you set up camp. And like most of you feel like you barely get any rest. And the next thing you know, you just hear Vardrak's voice, like, "All right, you guys ready to go?" And he's just standing there, like, already fully dressed and just waiting on you guys, almost impatiently.
I mean, I feel like I blinked, but sure.
Onward.
Okay.
While Vardrak's waiting on everybody else, he's going to be flipping through a book that no one has seen before, and he seems to be studying intently. But it doesn't look like his usual like Tiamat Bible he has on him.
Are you reading?
It's just looking over some information.
Did you sleep?
Yeah, mostly.
I'm rolling perception to see if he's lying.
Well, did he sleep, Cliff? Because he has no intention of lying.
You would have slept more as like a passivation of everybody else rather than like sleeping of being tired.
Yeah. So yeah, he slept, but yeah.
So with that perception check, what does the book look like? Are there any kind of discerning clues that Vakta would have picked up on?
Depends on what the book looks like that he got from Uathor.
Oh God. Give me an Arcana check, Vakta. A real one this time.
Oh.
Do it like you mean it.
You do that.
Say it like you
Or
mean
no.
So he's reading this grimoire that is blackened. The pages look old. It actually has kind of a musty smell to it that you can pick up on, like old paper. And you do not recognize any of the symbols that are on the cover.
Okay. Octa's gonna raise an eyebrow, but she's not gonna say anything yet.
Vakta's mantra.
And
Pretty
I'm sure
much.
with Vardrak's perception, he totally noticed that you did that.
Oh yes, absolutely.
All right, ready to go.
Yeah.
What were you reading there? Would it provide us any information that might be helpful to us not dying wherever we're going?
So far, no. But let's be on our way. I don't know how much longer this mark is going to last. Does it look different? And he like leans in so they could see.
It looks the same to everybody.
All right.
Okay.
News, let's go. He jumps on top of Ashim.
And like almost without looking back, he kind of just hops on and takes off.
Your friend has quite the gusto.
Yeah, you get used to it.
I'm sure. And he rides off after. He like tries to keep pace, like up next to Vardrak as much as he can.
That's my spot.
Ooh.
Doesn't hear you. He keeps going.
And as you're riding up next to Vardrak, Rav is just like pulling up next to you, like glaring.
We're all just moving in a line, his body behind, like the fuck.
He like gets like almost this challenged look to his face, and like a slight smile comes over his face, and just pushes his mount even harder to try to like edge past Vardrak slowly.
Vardrak doesn't seem to care. Ravage looks pissed.
And as you guys are kind of having this little pissing contest and going through the woods, Vakta, Vardrak, Batsu, you guys notice that you're approaching the area where you kind of would diverge off to Donovan's old lair. And you're seeing that a lot of the trees and everything are in their infancy, and nature is starting to reclaim the ravaged lands. All the barren, burnt areas are just teeming full of beautiful flowers. The area has more life to it now than it ever did. And the only thing that sort of remains to remind you of what happened is some of the areas have these large mounts of hardened lava rock, creating these hills. And most of the trees are still in their infancy, so, barely any of them are even 10 feet tall at this point. So you can clearly see all the way through, all the way over to the fire Scathe Mountains off in the distance. And everything is just blooming and beautiful.
So it looks more lively than when Donovan was alive?
Correct. Way more.
How close are we to his old lair?
You're probably, you'd have to diverge off the path that you're on, so you're probably like a day or so away from where his lair would be. Or was, rather.
So it would take us a day, like a detour of like a day out of our travel time.
Yeah, like off course of where you're headed to, yeah.
What can I roll to see if this looks like a natural growth or like the kind of plant growth from his presence being around? 'Cause, like when he went to like the new area by the kingdom, like that area immediately started growing.
Yes, but it wasn't like these type of flowers or anything. Like that was growing like large thickets, whereas this. Give me a nature check.
All right. I suck at those two. Oh, I was almost 17.
As far as you could tell, just looks like natural growth. You don't feel any sort of supernatural presence or any magical presence here. It just looks like nature healing.
Okay, then you'll just carry on, unless anyone says anything.
You guys, anything, or are you good?
Nope. Just eyeballing this angel.
Probably address it on the way back, but not right now.
Okay. So you guys ride like nonstop. As you guys head further and further north, the winds are starting to get colder. Winter's oncoming is starting to make its presence as the nights are getting colder. By the time the sun drops, you guys are fairly chilly, especially the tieflings. As it's getting brisk. It's in the low 50s at nights right now. Vardrak, give me a D12, please. You almost feel lightheaded and like almost fall back off Asha as you're riding, as this pain, similar to what you felt before but even more intense, onsets starting at your forehead and just cascading all the way through this ice cold burn to the base of your skull.
He like grabs his head and yells out with this like growling, almost like supernatural kind of yell that Batsu and Vakta would be like used to it, but Taldir would be like, "What the fuck?" And like Asha just comes to a screeching halt and is like looking over her shoulder.
You want to stop, man? Want some rest?
He's like rubbing his head. He's like, "No, it's fine. Let's keep going."
Is it getting dark right now? You said.
It is dark now.
It's night again. Maybe some rest would do us all of us some good. Vakta, you want some sleep?
Do any of you know me at all?
Hey,
See,
girl, you
Bardrock?
want some sleep?
She's tired.
Hey.
He's like, for the moment you asked the question, he just started dismounting.
Like, oh, you want to bring her into this? Huh? All right. Go to sleep.
But I move faster at night. Y'all suck.
That's what he said.
Ayo.
He sets up his portion of camp and helps Vakta with hers, and then
Still got that blanket. Perfect blanket.
And blanket.
You don't understand what she went through for that blanket, Jake. It was a big deal at the beginning a year ago.
And Vardog is kind of sitting there for a while, like just taking first watch, and he's sitting next to Vakta while she starts sleeping, and he's reading that book again.
Might gotta be weird.
Do now if you can. Fucking for once.
And again, you guys get to sleep, and seemingly like almost immediately after your sleep, Vardrock's just there, ready to go.
Picture like Batsu just like kind of barely parting his eyes, and like Vardrock's like right here.
Yeah.
It's like, ah. It's like, okay, we ready to go yet? Losing daylight.
Okay. Yeah. There's a quick look to see if fucking Jake is still not killing anybody.
No, he's not. He's following along. He's just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and where the fuck he is.
Trying to assert his dominance like a fucking dog.
It's not trying to assert his dominance. He's mostly just trying not to appear weak. Like it's you can see that he's not trying to be cocky. He's just trying to seem confident.
And as you're getting,
Acting like my dog. I'm gonna walk next to you. I'm next to you. I'm gonna get ahead. No.
What you gonna do?
Confident.
Oh, she's back there. Okay.
Batsu is getting a whole different vibe from this guy than what he's trying to portray. Look at this fucking angel. Thinks he's better than all of us. Cocky ass
Right?
guy.
Are you saying that out loud?
No.
Okay.
But he has that look on his face. He could be smiling, joking around, and he just looks at you and it just goes to a blank stare.
Talia
that
looks
one-
back
Go ahead.
at Basu and just goes, "What is your problem with me?"
I don't like your kind.
Hey.
What have my kind ever done to you?
Just the cockiness.
Recently, you killed
Feeling
one of our
of
friends.
It's the self-importance that you portray. Feeling like you're above others just because someone else told you that you are.
I do not believe I am above others, except for when I was literally above others. But I do not believe myself to be any more than you or Baldrock or Vakta.
Okay.
I am simply here for justice on my own kind and my patron. I'm not here to do you any harm.
Okay.
You have my word. He's like looking dead straight at Batsu, like completely straight faced, like very serious.
Yeah, I haven't seen any kind of ill will from you this whole time. I know.
So shall you?
And he just puts his book away and mounts up.
Well, shall we?
Cliff, how long do I have to study that book?
You're like you get like a couple chapters in like every night that you're reading it here.
Okay.
You're starting to get like the basic understandings of it.
Yes.
You find with your newfound ability that like your understanding and mental acuity when it comes to like the arcane, that like you're just absorbing it. Like you're not going back and rereading sentences to make sure you read what you thought you read. Like it's just making sense, and like all the pieces are just slowly like.
Is everyone ready? Let's get out of here.
Vardrak takes off.
Yeah. Is everybody ready? Oh, he's already gone.
He
And
disappears faster than Vakta can generate a bottle. We're like, what the fuck?
That's pretty fucking fast.
That's really fast.
Yeah, let's not be ridiculous, Jake.
Maybe faster than Vakta can drink a bottle, but
And
You guys travel for another 2.5 days, until you get to the base of the collapsing rise. And at this point, it's snowing. It's mid-afternoon. The symbol has changed twice since on Vardrak. And Vardrak, you just get this image of this house again. And like you instinctively like start pulling off to the side, and you're dodging between these trees, and nestled up, like butted up in this little thicket, this small little section of wood, there is this house that you guys come across. And immediately, Batsu, this house is the one that you saw in your dream.
fucking knew it.
Yep.
Cliff, I'm also gonna say that at some point during our journeys, we laid out the whole like what we're doing, why we're doing this whole spiel to Taldir.
Did you though?
Well,
We'd have to have something to talk about. It makes sense.
yeah.
I think
I mean-
Vardrock would have, but
About to say, I don't see Vardrock doing that.
Vakta probably would have.
Vardrock would have told him just like the bare ABCs of what are like, listen to what I say, don't get yourself killed, don't get us killed. Like
Yeah,
that
it
would be
was
the conversation.
Repeated to Grimble over and over and over again.
Don't be like Grimble. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Who is Grimble? Just don't do it.
I'll try.
Yeah. So no, that does make perfect sense. That I mean, you guys traveled for 4.5 days. Yeah.
So yeah, he'll dismount and say, "Well, we're here."
oh, this is the place. Huh.
Were you expecting something different?
No, I just wasn't expecting the place where you tried to assault my wife in my dream.
Again, about this dream. Why does this dream bother you so bad? Nothing happened. You woke up from any other bad dream I'm sure you've had.
With a knife in my wife.
You're saying that I stabbed your wife.
No, I'm saying I did, trying to stop you.
Why did you stab your wife?
You know what? Let's go see what the hell's in here.
I feel like that deserves an explanation.
Yeah, but I don't have the energy for it.
Hey, whatever you do with your wife, that's fine. Maybe it's a
Your
change.
kink is not my kink, but that's
Batsu's like peering in the window to see if anyone's sitting there. For damn well that Megami couldn't have beat us here.
So as you peer through the window, you notice that there is a single candle burning on one of the end tables.
He's me bursting into the door and looking for a chair. If there's nothing in it, he's kicking it over.
Give me an athletics check.
I'll slam myself against the wall.
Like Vardrock's behind him, like, okay, so we're gonna need you to check for any sort of traps, and then
As you kick in the door, you fall.
Slow falling.
Yeah,
at least.
so you fall, like immediately you feel your weight, like the safety of the floor beneath you gone, and you fall about 10 feet down into this cavern that looks like it is some sort of a burrow. Like it looks like something has dug its way through here.
So Batsu just walks up the wall, back out the door, and he's like, "So yeah, there's a drop as soon as you get in there. Then you gotta be careful about that."
he's like, Vardrock's looking dumbfounded, like, I was gonna say we should use stealth, but apparently we're just kicking indoors.
I just need to be sure of something, and I'm glad I did it because I was like perfectly situated for what happened. Anyone else did that, they would have got hurt. Maybe not. Angel guy.
Well, would you like to go in and check the rest now that you've done this much?
Shouldn't we all go in? And he like steps back and falls back in.
I'm not in the mood to fall in any holes or any other traps that I told you about before we came here.
Is there like a ladder or anything that I can see in this burrow?
No. So if you're actually looking around, you would notice that like the eastern wall of the house, the exterior wall, has been destroyed, and you could see the debris was pushed inward into this tunnel that burrows deeper.
Well, there's no ladder or any way to get down, so you're gonna have to fall down here no matter what. And I'm gonna just start looking down this burrow.
Could Taldir like pick somebody up and gently like fly them down?
You could try, yeah.
Vardrak jumps in your arms.
Please allow me to assist. What would I have to do for that? Probably
In athletics.
not my best option.
So can you check that? Oh my God.
All right. Who are you assisting into the hole?
Oh God.
Can I have another 20, please?
Bardrak was the first to speak up, so I guess it's Bardrak.
I was joking, but he wants to check the upstairs before he goes down. But
There's no upstairs. This is a single level cavern.
Okay.
It's like a basically like a 1-room cabin.
okay.
as Taldir's like, allow me to assist, like Bardrak like jumps at him and he just like knocks him over. And like that's not quite what I meant.
Oh.
Basu's standing there like you literally have to fall in.
And then he like gets up, dusts himself off, and Ravage looks over him and says, "Told you, puny angel." Vardrak goes to the edge and just kind of hops in. Need an athletics check, right?
Nope. 10 feet down, you're fine.
Oh.
Taldir's just gonna hop down.
So as you guys hop into this area here, like I said, it burrows down about 10 feet. It goes forward for a few paces and it kind of snakes about. And this looks like it was something dug this out. Something burrowed through here. And
How bright is it in here?
it is right now you have a pretty decent amount of light coming in from the cabin above down onto the tunnel, but there are no light sources in this tunnel.
Okay.
So would Batsu be able to like make this Eldritch energy appear in his hand to have some kind of light?
Do you have any sort of spell that does light like that?
No spells. He has. If this feat went through, then he has something.
What does he have?
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast doesn't really make a light.
Okay.
It seems how that Eldritch energy is just kind of like dark magic. If anything, that would darken the room. So no, that would unfortunately not work that way.
Taldir's gonna draw his sword out and cast daylight on his sword, making it glow for 60 feet.
All right. As you guys see this tunnel snake about, what order are you guys marching in?
Vardrak's first.
I'm next to Vardrak, or just behind him if he won't let me go ahead of him.
I would be next to them because I have the light.
They don't.
We don't need you.
Batsu and Rakar are in the back.
Ravage is just on the other side of.
I mean, I didn't need it either, but I was trying to be nice to help you guys.
Batsu's like, yeah, I need it. Both of us back here, we need it.
Bacta's just like squinting and glaring at the sword, but not saying anything.
I mean, it's right.
Yeah.
And Taldir, one thing that you noticed is, for some reason, there's a weird energy coming from this place, and you cannot see in the dark here at all. The light is definitely helping you as well.
Write that one down.
You feel like it's probably just for this session.
Yeah. It's weird. My eyes aren't fully adjusted yet. It's almost like some asshole with some dice.
So this tunnel snakes about, and it dead ends at this perfectly smooth stone wall. And on the wall, there is this large door that's probably about 15 feet wide and 20 feet tall. And everything about this is pristine and completely out of place.
Well, I think we should start looking for traps here because this is definitely not natural.
And as you say that, you kind of have this like foggy feeling in your mind, and you don't really recall the exact steps you took to get to this place.
Kind of like magical energy coming off of the wall or anything that we could.
If you have any sort of detect magic or anything like that, you could check to see.
Batsu picks up a
Interaction
rock and
or
like
something.
tosses it at the door.
That's
You're greeted with the sound of stone meeting stone as the sound echoes back into the cavern behind you.
Alright, so I think we could touch it at least.
Batsu.
yeah. Still checking for traps anyway.
And how are you checking?
Looking around any defined edges, because something randomly pristine is still going to stick out. So it's just like looking along the floor, edges, ceiling, around the door, just like, is there anything that looks, it's just so pristine, if there anything slightly out of place or unnatural other than the sudden pristine
Other than the whole thing.
everything.
You don't find any sort of hitches or any mechanical pieces or anything. It's just this large, smooth stone door. And the door looks like it's a single piece of stone. It doesn't look like it's split in the middle or anything like that.
It seems safe.
Perhaps some sort of hidden door here somewhere.
I mean, you can clearly see where the door is. It's defined that there's a door.
Alright, so how do we open
I mean,
this?
with Bardrock's perception, though.
Yeah, that's true. Is there some sort of door
Have
here?
you?
But what is a door?
Oh, let's not get philosophical. God, I'm really tired.
You made her literally choke on her words.
You're welcome.
Alright, let's find a way to open this door then.
Batsu knocks.
The door feels abnormally cold to the touch, but you feel like you're knocking on a mountain.
So, this thing's cold.
Broderick will put his hand on it.
As you put your hand on it, you feel this cold rush from your forehead flow throughout your body, out your hand, and you see the door shimmer with this light blue. And as it does, you just hear this as this door slides down, and you guys feel this gust of cold air blow out on you.
Didn't know you were good at stuff like that. Good job.
Yes. I'm good at many things. He like tightens up his cloak and then starts walking in.
Cocky cock.
No.
And as you walk in, you find yourself inside of this small room that's about 18 feet squared. And on the walls lining it, to your left and to your right, there are 3 sets of armor in various poses, looking like a victorious knight. And ahead of you, there's a small doorway, a standard-sized doorway, and you can see on the wall in the other room that there are 3 more pieces of armor. The 2 to the left and the right are kneeling to the one in the middle.
Yeah, I don't like this place already.
I don't like this.
Vardrak's gonna walk up to the main one that the other 2 are kneeling, and he's gonna try and like look inside the armor to see if there's anything inside.
You can give me a perception check if you want to.
Oh, damn it. Nope, that's nature. There we go.
It looks the same as all the other pieces of armor that you walked past, just in a different arrangement.
What like make of the armor are they wearing? Like, what does it look like? It's from any particular race or anything like that?
Give me either a history or an insight.
We are on a roll.
I don't want to do this tonight.
You can't really discern. The size of them are about your guys' size, so they're humanoid, and they appear to be fashioned out of iron.
What kind of weapons are they holding?
The 6 that are in the room that you guys are standing in, all have sword and shield. The 2 that are kneeling, they have no weapons whatsoever. And the one that's standing in the middle of them has just a singular like great sword that he's holding out at his chest.
Vardrak's gonna turn back to everybody and well, my thoughts on this is that we either don't touch these and keep moving, or we dismantle the armor and make sure their weapons and shields are out of reach, just in case.
Yeah, I like that. I don't really like inanimate objects, especially ones that are humanoid.
Say that like you have had a bad run-in with inanimate objects, Batsu. This is a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
So is that what you're suggesting, Batsu?
He's already like walking over to one of them and about to take its sword and shield. Like, what? Oh yeah, let's take these.
As you go to remove the sword and the shield, they appeared to be welded to the hands. It all seems to be welded together in this fixed position.
In before iron elementals.
So yeah, we're not gonna be able to take these off. The whole thing actually kind of looks stuck together.
Bardra's going to turn to that same piece of armor. He's going to try and remove the helmet.
Okay. The main one in the center?
Yeah.
Okay. As you reach out to remove it, you hear this noise. So this one is over here on this back wall.
Mm-hmm.
Where is everybody else standing while he's walking over to this thing?
I am right here.
So that's how you guys are standing then?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's not good. That's never good.
No, I don't like that.
Fuck your frontal cone.
So as you touch this helmet, the things that you notice are it is super cold to the touch, almost so much that it almost pains you to touch it. Secondly, as you go to try to lift it, it feels unnaturally heavy, almost like it's connected either to the armor or to some part of it. And as you do it, this mist shoots out. As this poison gas begins to fill the room.
I fucking called it.
Ugh.
And as you do that, you hear the creaking of metal as this thing draws back its sword and begins to swing. We can go ahead and call it right here for the night.
Tired, yeah.
Okay.
So thank you to everybody that popped in tonight. Again, thanks to Allie and to John for the resubs. John was a 14-month. Look at you.
Yeah.
And that'll be me next week.
Yeah, it's so weird how it's like this stair step. I love it. Thanks to Bob for the YouTube subscribe. I do have a YouTube, if you guys didn't know, and I upload all of these the VODs of this. All of the episodes get uploaded there, so if you ever miss anything or want to rewatch it from the beginning, all of the first season's on there, second season's on there as well. And thanks to Grinch for the 300 biddies. Next week, I'll have everything updated to actually accurately reflect Taldir being part of the group now that it's not a secret. Actually, you know what? For shits and giggles, while we're still here, everybody go ahead and roll initiative.
Ooh, oh, yeah. You need another 20 for that.
No, not for initiative. You're good.
With my +0. Also, I love that you named episode 2 of season 2, Who's My Best Weapon?
It me.
And look at Randy just renewed for his 10 months. Thanks, Randy. We're so close to getting a community event. So close. So close.
What else do we need?
Anything. A new follow, new sub, anything. Didn't want to feel left out of the subversary. Hey, man, you're always welcome here, whether you sub or not. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. So, thank you guys so much. I truly, truly, truly do appreciate it. What I'm going to do, same thing I do at the end of every week, is we're going to raid out on somebody here. Hopefully, my peoples is on, and they are good. So we're going to raid out Ascension Stories. This is kind of my go-to because they put out good content, and they're not ugly. That appeases my shallowness. So thank you guys again. I appreciate you guys coming out. Hope to see you guys next week, and we will, see what becomes of our dear adventurers.
Heroes.
Heroes.
Hey, we're heroes.
No, what the fuck you just said, Jake? That echo was ridiculous.
I said, hey, we're heroes.
Yeah, heroes. That's what I said. Heroes. All right, yeah. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. See you next week.
Bye.
I probably should have actually started the countdown before I did the wave, because that's usually how I signify when I'm going to do it, but now we get to sit here awkwardly for 3 more seconds.
That was awkward. So, how you guys doing?
Hey.